What's up, you guys? So today we're going to be talking about how to upload something to WordPress into drafts. So mostly this will be pertaining to articles or blogs for our client sites and sometimes our own site. So the first thing you want to do is come to the WordPress admin panel. So in order to sign in, simply all you'll do is type in the website name /WP admin right here. That'll take you to a sign in, which you'll have the password and username for, so you should be able to easily get in. And then once you've signed in, you'll end up right here. So from here, we're going to go into our post tab. That'll pretty much be the standard. Once in a while, it might be named something else, but for the most part, you're going to be coming into the post tab in order to upload drafts. So now you'll see here, if you scroll down, this is a list of all the existing articles that are currently on this site. They're usually organized by date, but you can organize them a bunch of different ways. But that's really not important right now, but we'll be paying attention to is just how to add a new post. So let's come up here, click add new, and it's immediately going to bring up a new post. Sorry, my laptop's a little slow. So right here, you're going to see this is basically the format. You can X all this stuff out. This is just WordPress related things. So right here you have the title. Here you have the body of the blog. Over here you have categories you can choose from. You can choose to save it as draft, preview, publish it. Over here you got more of that kind of stuff. Post attributes you won't have to worry about. Add to any you shouldn't have to worry about. Featured image is the only other one you'll have to worry about. So from here, basically what you're going to want to do is, so say for now, for instance, we're working on the Poof New Sales, so we will come to our Poof New Sales master sheet, we'll go into the content calendar, and then what we're going to want to do is look for a post that's blue, right? So we're going to come up here, and immediately at the top of all your content calendars, we're going to use the same color code for all of them. Just real brief, recovery here. Essentially, purple means it's already posted. Orange means it's in drafts ready to be posted. And blue, if we have any, we have one down here. Blue means it is been written and is ready to be uploaded to drafts. Okay, so the only ones you're going to be paying attention to is blue, and then you're going to be checking them orange once you're done, right? So right now we don't have any that are blue, but let's just, for the sake of it, let's go with how to get new patients as a dentist. We'll turn this one blue real quick just so we can run through it. Okay, so this has already been edited, of course. You might have to do a little bit of editing, but that should be done already. Really, all you're going to do is upload it and just try to make it look good. Okay, so we're going to come in. If you click the link right on here, this is always going to lead you to the actual Google Doc related to this. This should all be written and well done at this point. So we're going to come in. We're going to Command A, we're going to copy it all, and then we're going to come back here. Now, when you paste this in here from Google Docs, everything that is formatted will be exactly the same. So if you sign this as an H2, this will be an H2. If this is bold, it'll be bold. If it's in italics, it'll be italics, etc. That's one of the beautiful things about WordPress is when you're doing that, it makes it really, really easy for you guys. You shouldn't have to make too many edits other than, some of this double spacing stuff. You want to just run through here real quick and make sure everything looks good. So the first thing I'll do after this, let's just go down, let's scroll down, make sure everything looks good. Just get rid of some of these extra spaces. Okay, we're going to want to do this. The first thing you're going to want to do once you're finished, with these little basic edits is you're going to want to come up here and you're going to want to save it as a draft. So hold on, let me just finish these real quick. All right, we don't have much more. 1, 2, 3, get rid of this. We left a period out. Get rid of this, get rid of this. All right, cool, so we should be good. So I'm gonna save this as a draft. Don't hit publish right here because that will actually publish it live to the site. So please don't do that. If you do, it's not a super big deal. You can always move it to the trash and then recover it from the trash later. So don't be afraid to do that. We just don't wanna publish these until they're ready. Okay, so it was published. You can choose between authors. You're probably going to want to keep this on Poof New Sales, but one day we might make it Cody and Kyle. But regardless, so now it's been saved into drafts. So what you can do from here is preview it. I love this setting. It makes it really easy to kind of understand what's going on, what your post actually looks like live and what kind of changes you need to make, because that'll be a big part is just of your job is just making sure that these things really, really look good. So one thing you'll notice right away, all lists are going to look like this. Again, this is formatted pretty well because it's something we already have live, but basically what you're going to want to do from here is once you get in here, you're just going to want to start making some of this stuff look good. So if you notice, a lot of times when you get articles, you'll get them in big chunks. So say say you see an article and, say in here it's like this, right? And like, yeah, sure, this is all this content's together and it's technically, correct and it's technically a paragraph. But one thing you'll notice is on blog posts, you want to try and keep it to like 1 or 2 sentences per line and then space, because this is just so much easier to read than a big, blocky, gross line of text like this. And that's a lot of what you'll be focusing on. So then when you come in here, you'll really want to spend some time trying to go through and bold a little bit of a segment in each one. So anytime there's like a main point or something you really want someone to read or see, you want to just go through and make it bold. That's going to make it pop. It's going to make it look better. It's going to draw the attention of the readers. And one thing that's really hard in today's day and age is to get people's attention. So we want to try and do that any way we can without being over the top. Another thing you'll notice is there's a lot of lists in here. Sometimes you'll get an article that doesn't have any lists, but there's perfectly good sections of information that you can list off, such as this. Like, this is important details, like questions you can ask your client, etc. This is the type of things you'll want to be putting in their buyer personas. So for instance, that's an easy list to make. It just breaks up the content and it also helps it to look a lot better and give people really easy to read things right in their face. So this, again, is something you're going to want to do. Put bold usually before the list, especially if there's a colon after it. That's one thing we always try to do. Sometimes we don't, like right here. Don't know why we didn't do that. Probably should. Okay, but again, in any of these edits that I'm talking about are literally as easy as coming in here. You scroll, you make sure you're in the right spot, and literally all you have to do in order to make edits is click on this text and it's going to be able to take you exactly where you need to be. It's just like any text editor you've ever used. You can hit bold, you can hit italics, you could turn it into a list, you can left align it, center align it, right align it, you could set a hyperlink to another page, etc. So now, just to kind of get into some of the more nitty-gritty details of what you'll be doing, obviously you want the text itself to look good. The body, you want it to be spaced well. You want it to be something that really, hits home with people. You want it to just look well, right? But on top of that, one big part of that is images. So one thing we'll always have you do is add at least an image to the home page, what's called a featured image. So if you go to depositphotos.com, we actually have an account on depositphotos.com where you can find all the stock images like you could probably ever need, right? So we'll give you the sign in, we'll give you that. And you'll literally be able to download. I think we have a membership for up to $150 a month, which is something you should never run into. And if you do, we can fix it. It's a good problem to have. It means we have more work. So once you get here, I'm just actually going to X this out because it seems to be taking a while to load. My laptop's pretty slow. But you're going to just search for anything. So we can search for content marketing in here. We should be able to, but again, my computer's pretty slow. So, but anyways, you get the point. You've been to a Deposit Photos before. So you go in, you're going to click on the image that you want, and then you're going to click download. So once you download it, you're going to want to download it in a 1000 by 667 format if you can, because that's the best, size that's going to fit all these posts. So once you have that, you're going to come in here and, say pretty much for the featured images, you're always going to want to add one. So you go to document, and then you should see something along the side here that says featured image right here. You hit set the image. For now, we'll just use something from our media library just because we have a ton of images that we've already used. But just to let you know, it's literally as easy as clicking upload files. You click it and you drag it and you bring it here. So say I wanted to upload a file. We'll just select a file for my images. Let's see if we have anything on here. We don't. Yeah, we don't have anything. Oh, we might. Pictures, cool. Yeah, so we'll upload this colorful bird, right? So obviously this isn't going to be the right size or anything. And then all we're going to want to do once we're uploading new pictures also is you're really going to want to add what's called alt text. So you don't need a title in here. If it comes with a title, get rid of the title, get rid of the caption, get rid of the description if it has any of that. And just leave it. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come in and give it an alt text. So even though this is a colorful bird, the article we're targeting is how to get new patients for dentists. So one thing I try to do is do like different variations of that. So I would do guide to get more clients for dentists. Right, and I would hit select. So that's going to select it. That's going to add it as the featured image. Now you can see that. I'm going to save this draft again just so you can see what that's going to do. And from here, if you go like this, There you go. There you have it. That's our featured image. So that's where it's going to go. That's the size it's usually going to be. That's what it's going to look like. And then obviously the alt tag you don't see, but that's for search engines. So you definitely want to pay attention to that. That's really important. Okay, so now we have our featured image set. Now we want to come up with the title. Honestly, the title is pretty much always going to be as simple as coming in here and grabbing the title from the master sheet that you saw. So how to get new patients as a dentist right here on the master sheet. That's exactly what we're going to put as our title. So how to get new clients for dentists online, right? So that's as simple as that. We're going to save our title. You get to see what that looks like real quick. Just hit refresh. It's just going to be right here. It should be purple. That's it. That's all it is. That's as simple as that. So that's what's called the H1 on the page. If you're familiar with SEO, you're very familiar with that. That's a super important thing. You always want to make sure it's the same as this, if not pretty close, or what we have on the master sheet if this is kind of a weird title, but we'll try to clean that up for you. Now what you're going to want to do, what I usually do next, is come down here to what's called the snippet. This will have your title, your slug, and your meta tag inside of it, which are all important information for search engines to have. So this is actually a really, really important part of this. So what we first want to do, you'll see that it just drags the title from up there. You're actually from the top of the page that we just added, which is the H1. You actually don't want the H1 and the title to be the same, so we're going to change it. I'm just going to put this as guide how to get new clients for dentists, comprehensive guide 2019. Right? That's a great title. We'll go into what makes a good title a little bit more in some other training videos, but for right now, you should have a pretty active knowledge about how to make good titles. If not, we'll make another video for that. But essentially, you want to obviously display what's going on in the article. Usually, you want to have some type of parentheses or something that makes it relevant, like 2019, so people will be like, okay, this is relevant for me. And then the slug is also super important. Like right now, we don't need any of these words. We don't need how. We don't need to. We don't need for. And we don't need any of this. So honestly, what we're going to do is get new dentist clients online, right? So that's the premise of the article. Usually you don't want this to be any more than 4 or 5 words. Again, we will have a training video specifically set for this that will talk a little bit more in depth about how to strategize, how to go towards it. But essentially this is where you're going to be editing the slug, and that's what's going to appear in this link up here. Super important for search engines. Next, we'll do the meta description. Usually for meta description, we just like to establish like a basic outline of what's going on in the article, what you're going to learn, and establish a set of needs that people will see immediately. I mean, you got to think you're only getting really like 2 or 3 sentences below here that you want to see in order to make sure that someone clicks on this. So it's got to be pretty juicy. You want it to be something good, and you don't want it to be something cheesy. So essentially for this one, let's do dentists have a very hard time acquiring clients online consistently. Why? Simple. High cost per click and difficult targeting. But what if there were a guide to teach you how to get more clients for dentists online? We created this blog to teach you everything you need to know about online marketing for dentists. So one huge thing, again, we're going to have a video completely dedicated to how to do each one of these things in depth so that you can understand better. Preferably you have experience already in SEO, but again, that's something we'll take care of. But basically you want to state what's going on, state the problem, state a solution, and then inform them a little bit about what's going on. This shouldn't usually be anything more than, 3 or 4 sentences, and it should usually be pretty to the point. Now, one thing you want to make sure is that this is under 320 characters, which is the character limit for Google. Preferably, we like to keep it 300 or lower. You can check that real quick on any type of word counter online. Same thing goes for this. You want to be keeping the title under 72 characters. This thing right here, this little bar that's green right now, will go red under here if it's too long. So as long as you're under that, you're good. If it's too long, you want to change something. Sometimes you'll get something that's too short, like say this is the case, and usually what we'll do after that, if it's on our site, we'll just do this little symbol here, poof new sales, or if it's on another client site, we'll just do client name, right? But for now, we're going to just leave that the way it is, and we're going to leave this meta description the way it is, and we're going to save it again. So it just auto-saved. We're good to go. You're not going to notice any of this in the blog post again, but it's super important for search engines. So now back to what we were doing. Pretty much what you're going to want to do for each one of these little miniature sections is find a picture that's relevant for it. Pictures have been shown to make a huge difference in blog traffic and the time that people stay on your site. So that's why we want to go ahead and do it, just to break up the content a little bit. Nobody likes to look at just what looks like a dictionary long post online. So this is just to kind of make it a little bit more friendly for people, etc. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to go through and try to find some good pictures. So perfect your Google My Business, right? So the first section is why content marketing is important for dentists. So honestly, for this, I would just go with the dental photo. Come in here. Yep, sure, you can take information from me. So we're going to go to deposit photos if it decides to load. Come on. Well, you get the point. We're going to go to deposit photos, get some stuff there. Again, you want to download the 1000 by 667 width, height, ratio photo from there. That's the biggest thing, the most important thing, because that's going to be the right size. Then we'll just look at this in the blog to kind of give you an example of, what's going on here and what we're looking for with these pictures. So to go to our blog, let's search for our dentist article. Sorry about this. I'm going to search for a dentist article to get here. How to get more patients for dentists. So this is the one we already have created, and I'm just going to run through real quick and show you the type of photos that we use and how we go about uploading them. Okay, so here we are. Let's go to our preview so we can view. Beautiful thing about preview, you can have something in drafts and know exactly what it looks like, which is awesome. So here's what our real thing looks like. How to get more patients for dentists. You can see we have this great, picture up top. We have this. Why content marketing is important for dentists. So you're looking for something like this. Usually I like to go with a white background or pretty light background photo because it doesn't contrast too much against the background. And then you can see 8 easiest ways to get more clients for dentists. Again, we have another picture, perfect your GMB. So, we skip a couple here, but again, we have 8 major points. So we don't want to go the whole article without having another image and just it being a giant block of text. So right around 5, I inserted another image. You don't want too many either because if you're putting one every here and then here and here, it gets a little much also. So just kind of space it out. Use your eye, use your creative ability. You're going to know when it looks like we need something or not. I try not to do them for subsections. So for instance, dominate local and do things differently. That's the one section. And then create a loyalty program down here. That's a completely different that's a subsection of this. So I try not to do it for that, but you could. And then again, you know, here's our images, etc. Usually towards the bottom of the image, bottom of the article, you're going to want to put something that's like a call to action, which is an image, and link it to one of our contact pages. I try to do that all the time. So, you know, here we just say we offer consultations, custom marketing plans for our prospective clients in order to show you the power of our services and help align with your future marketing goals. Proof new sales free consultation. It just takes you right to the contact page if you click it. But that's besides the point. So yeah, that's what you're going to do. Now, basically, once you're getting these pictures, what you're going to want to do in order to make sure that they're right for our page is this. So every once in a while, you will find a picture that is just too big of a file size, right? So all of these pictures, when you're downloading them, are really high quality, which is great because we want good quality pictures, but because they're such good quality, they're really big file sizes, which can slow down the load speed of the page, and we really want to try to maximize that as best we can. So what you're going to do is go to kraken.io and just hit try their free web interface. Once you get brought here, you'll go to expert, and you should just do, I usually do 80 and 80. So that's just saying the quality is going to be 80% of what it was, right? And then you literally just click and drag your image into here. So we'll use this colorful bird one. Again, this is a small image size. It's only 12 KB. So your file size reduction isn't going to be that much, but on a standard file that's like, you know, 200, 300 that you're going to be downloading from Deposit Photos, this will probably be brought down to like 50 or 60. So you're really cutting out, like, again, 80% of the size of the file, which cuts down load time a lot, which is really important. So then you just re-download it, you know, click here, save. Oh, no, just kidding. Save, you know, save it as whatever you're going to save it to. Save it to my desktop, right? And then all you're doing from there to upload it is you're going to go back into your post. We're going to go back into our post, and you're just going to upload it. So now I want to upload this photo. I want to add media. I want to upload it. And then I'm just going to click and drag this from my desktop and download it here. And we're going to do the same exact thing again. We're going to give it an alt text. So the first one we did, you know, one way. I'm just going to try and do it a slight variation of that. How to get more clients for your dentist's office online, right? Great. It's relevant to the article. It tells someone a little bit more about it, and it also informs search engines. So that should post right here. That's what it's going to do. You want to save it, make sure it looks good, etc. But one other thing we want to focus on is when we're uploading these images, a lot of time when you download them, they're going to have names like this, colorforbird.jpg, etc. We really want to make them something relevant to the article itself. So what I try to do is, okay, again, this is how to get new clients for dentists online. This subject is why content marketing is important for dentists. So what I'm going to do right here is just do why. Okay. I'm going to do something right here. Why content, to name the photo something relevant. Why content marketing is important for dentists. Just try to use these little hyphens in between so it can separate it, so it's easy to read for search engines and for people. And then once you upload it, just literally make sure you give it an alt tag just like we already did. That's good. That works with the thing and everything else. And you should be good to go as far as photos go for the rest of the post. So you're going to want to do the same thing here. And when you can take a screenshot, please try to do that. So perfect your GMB, which is Google My Business. You know, take a little bit of time to read what you're actually uploading for and what you're actually trying to change, because that'll really help you get some better quality photos, and it'll really help you save a lot of time. So for instance, perfect your Google My Business account. Literally all I could do for this is go Google My Business. I go to the website itself, and I literally just, you know, Command Shift 4 on a Mac, whatever it is on Windows. I just take a screenshot, you know, make sure it's probably twice as wide as it is tall, like, or pretty close, you know, try to keep it to that. This is 1100 by 669. The usual one we do is 1000 by 667. Try to kind of keep it in that range so it looks good on a screen. Just save it, give it a cool name. So for this one, I would be like, how to get more dentist clients. It saves as that, and then we come back in here, perfect your GMB. Okay, so we want to perfect our Google My Business. Oh, and what do we have? Look at that, a picture of Google My Business account. And then it's literally as simple as how to get more dentist clients. All right, yep, here's the title. It changes here. Sometimes I put the alt tag, the same exact thing as the title. Other times I try to do something creative. Let's do something creative. Let's do best ways to get more dentist clients, right? So there's the alt tag. We're going to upload the image, and sure enough, if we scroll down, you should see the image here. Oh, and there it is, begins to load. We'll just take a look at this. Again, that bird image is pretty small, so it's probably going to look pretty goofy in this article. That's why size is important. I'll give you an example of that. Just, oh, never mind. It auto corrected itself. But there you go. There you have it. See how much cleaner that looks kind of than the darker background picture. At least for me, it looks cleaner. I kind of like the white backgrounds. If you can find stuff like that, definitely do it. Every once in a while, you'll find a picture that's a square, but you really like it. If that's the case, you can also sign on to Canva, which is a great place to do it. So return to Canva, please. So I want to say this is my thing. Huh. Well, anyways, you go onto Canva, you can custom create something. It's really easy. You just hit new post. You can assign it as big as you want it to be. I usually do 1,000 by 500 or 1,000 by 600. And then from there, all you're going to want to do is if you go to the Google Chrome store and install this free color picker tool, you literally pick a color from the page, you click on where you want it, it'll tell you that, it copies it to your clipboard, and then you can add that as the background image, but that's a little bit more complex with what we're doing. So back to the posting. Again, you're going to want to go through and you're going to want to find links. So let's talk a little bit about hyperlinking right now. So there's a lot of opportunities. Oftentimes when we're writing articles, we try to make it so that it's really easy for people who are uploading and editing to find the right places to hyperlink to other content on our site. So the beauty of something like WordPress is that it makes it really, really easy for you to find that. So for example, let's come down here and try to find the words content marketing. Oh, look at that. So content marketing's right here, right? It's already linked, but say it wasn't. So now we just found content marketing. Now, obviously, we do content marketing. One of the big target keywords we're trying to rank for is content marketing. So naturally, what we're going to want to do is link this to a page that has content marketing. For us, that's literally our content marketing page. But if you don't know, a great way to find it is literally just type in something. So right here, you can see content marketing. It's a page. If you click this, it'll automatically link to it. And then once you open this, you're going to want to always open these settings and make sure it opens link in a new tab so that this tab will stay open if they go to a new one. That's really, really important for search engines. It's really, really important for a lot of signals that get sent to them. So make sure you please do that in every single link that you use, right? So content marketing, we now have a link to that. Now, but say you didn't know what links we had on our site, or say you didn't know what articles you wanted to link to, a great way to do that is to come back into your master sheet and go to the existing articles tab, right? So right now, let's go to our approved clients just so I can show you an example. You're going to want to come in. You're going to want to come in and you're going to want to go to, we'll use Ty, for example, again. So let's come into Ty, his master sheet, and you're going to have the existing articles tab. And this is an amazing way for you to really quickly find awesome internal linking opportunities. So you're going to go to existing articles and you're going to instantly see every single article that he has, the title of it, the subject, and the actual hyperlink that goes directly to it. And this makes it so unbelievably easy. So literally what you're going to want to do is probably for every single article, depending on the length, obviously you don't want to be linking every other word. You don't want to be linking probably multiple times in a paragraph or even every paragraph. But usually in an average 1,800 word article, I try to fit in anywhere between 10 and 15 links. So that's what you're going to want to do as well. Now, sometimes you might have an article that doesn't have that many linking opportunities. That's just fine. Don't force it. But for the most part, we're going to have our writers do it to the point where we have really good internal linking opportunities, and it's going to be your job to just make sure that those get to where they need to be. So let's go down and look for a few more just to give you some really good examples. So let's come in and let's look for ROI. Do we have ROI anywhere here? Yes. higher ROI. So I know for a fact that on Poof, one of the links we like to do is to our ROI article. So I just literally type in ROI here once I click this link button up here. And look at this. The first thing that pops up is 3 easy ways to measure content marketing ROI. It's that simple. You literally hit apply. You come in here, you change the settings once you've already applied it, and you hit open in a new tab, and that's literally all you're going to do. Sometimes it takes you to the top here. If it does that, it usually means that it didn't save that last change you made for whatever reason. I found that does that sometimes. So just come back down, look for ROI again, click it, and just make sure when you go to settings, see it didn't do it, just click it again, and then this second time it'll work. And to prove that to you, that it'll always work the second time, if you go back into settings, see, you'll see here, okay, cool. And then when you exit out of this, it'll take you back to the top again. Don't know why it does that, just the way it is. So another thing you're going to want to do is every once in a while you will get an article that doesn't have very good headings. And headings are super important for search engines. So you're really going to want to focus on trying to make them as good as possible without keyword stuffing. Usually when you go into the outline for our content, we will have a list down here. If you go to our outlines in here, you'll see let's go to one of them, for instance, down here. If you come into it, you'll see that we'll always have keywords we're trying to rank for right here and everything. So website content writer, article content writing services, that's for this, for example. So when we come back here, you'll have that. And one thing you'll want to do is try and incorporate those into the actual headers. So it's really important that you are actually reading these articles and you are actually understanding what's going on, what the mission is, what we're trying to portray to our client in order to best do your job and best suit their needs with what you're doing to our articles. So really just think of yourself as the person who's the last line of defense between us and our target audience, and you're really trying to make sure that what they're searching for on Google is what they're finding. So right here, why content marketing is important for dentists, that's great. That's already formatted. I like that. Perfect your Google My Business. So right now, again, so we kind of have a disconnect here. So what we want to do is we're going to want to come in here, and before perfect Google My Business, we're going to want to go down and count how many of these actual tips do we have, and then create a header that's good for them. So right here, if we go down, I just counted 5, 6, say it's 7. So we have, I know for a fact it's 8 for this article, so we'll just use 8 to save me some time later. So we'll do, this is 8 ways dentists can get more clients online. Now, usually this will mostly be taken care of for you, but again, you want to be conscious of it. Now, one thing you're going to want to make sure is now that you have this up, you want your headers to be right. So this is an H2, meaning that anything from that's in a subsection of that has to be an H3. You're only going to want one H1 per page, and that's going to be your title up here. So never, ever, ever, ever use an H1. Only start with H2. So for instance, why content marketing is important for dentists, that's an H2. That's fine. But 8 ways dentists can get more clients is also an H2, which means any one of those 8 ways, like 1 through 8, should be an H3. Make sense? So you're going to want to come here, make this an H3, and then you're just going to want to go to the side of it and make a 1. Now, all of our H2s and all of our H3s on most of our sites, we bold them, so just try to bold them when you can. If not, you'll notice in the preview that they look different anyways. So 1 is perfect your GMB, 2, be the expert in your space, etc. 3, do amazing work, etc. So you get the point there. Now what you're going to want to do is save it, and once you save it, you'll really be able to tell if you made a mistake with the headers or not, because an H1 is going to be massive, and H2 is going to be smaller than that, H3 is going to be smaller than that, etc. So when you come down here, you'll see, okay, that's an H2, that's an H2, and you see the size of the H3, it'll be blatantly apparent when you've made a mistake or whatever. And you just want to run through one last time when you're finished to make sure that everything looks good, make sure that everything looks the way it's supposed to look. So you'll come down here, and you'll notice this. So see, sometimes what happens with these lists is for whatever reason, they get uploaded in a funky way. So it's really only with lists, but it's going to be something you want to watch out for. So we're going to come down to this list, and you'll see what happened here. It uploaded as almost 2 separate lists. All you got to do literally to fix this is just go like this, undo a list, and then redo a list. Okay, sometimes you're going to have these weird spaces in between here. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but you know, it's just part of the job. It is what it is. Funny, I see. Now it's even making me mad. 1, 2, I don't know why that did that. 3, 4, I think 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, just kidding. So do that last one. Cool. So now we'll save this and you'll come back and you'll see, okay, at least this first list now won't look that way, right? So that was the first list. So this is the first list we just edited, right? You'll come back and you'll see it looks like it's supposed to. You're just going to want to run through. There's going to be, especially at first, you're going to have a lot of these weird little goofy mistakes. As time goes on, you're going to realize just how easy it is to fix them and you're going to be really on point. So again, that's the main thing you want to pay attention to. And then every once in a while, you're going to want to add specific images. So like I said, let's do a real quick run through at the end. So when I added this real specific image at the bottom here that you saw, Poof New Sales Free Consultation, let's go over that real quick. So what you're going to want to do is once you get to the bottom, you know, maybe, again, most of the time our writer's going to have this stuff pretty polished up for you, so it should be pretty easy. But one time maybe you're going to want to have to add at the end something along the lines of like, if you are looking to outsource your content marketing to an agency, please give us a call. We offer free consultations, content marketing consultations to business owners in order to give them an idea of what they can expect when working with us and what the best ways to get more clients are in their industry. And then something about contact us, you know, blah, 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 you get the point. And then down here, you're going to add this image. Get out of here, please. You're going to add this image if it decides it wants to do that. And then what you're going to want to do if you're on our site is go to Poof New Sales and you just type it in and you'll instantly see something like this. So again, you could be on any one of our websites. We'll have a whole list of these. We'll probably give you links to the specific ones we want at the bottom of the page. The same goes for a lot of other things that I'll show you in just a second. So now we're going to want to insert this into post. Now the only difference between something that's linked as a photo and something that's not is that you're going to want to come in here and instantly do this. You're going to want to hit link to custom URL and then you just do whatever the page is. So for instance, I know that this is poofnewsales.com/contact. I hit update and then sure enough, if I come down here, I hit save. Sure enough, if I refresh this and I come back into my draft, I'm going to see, all right, great. I can click on this picture and it's going to take me where I need to be. Again, see, it didn't do it. So sometimes, again, you need to make these changes twice. That's why it's important to go through your previews and make sure it happens to me, it happens to everybody. I'm just going to do this because I know this also works, but just try to do the full length. I'm going to hit save draft again. I'm going to come back in here, click on this free consultation button and just make sure it goes to where it's supposed to go. Obviously, we know it's going to go to where it's supposed to go, but you get the point. So make sure, okay, cool, it goes to my contact page. Awesome. You can just come right back in. And then the last thing you're really going to want to focus on is every once in a while we'll have snippets of code that need to be manually added to the posts themselves in order to get the point across that we're trying to make. So for instance, sometimes buttons, sometimes interesting looking sections with different things that you can't quite manipulate so well in WordPress, you're going to have to do that for. So say we wanted to add a button to here. All we would do is make an extra line, and then what you're going to want to do is come up here, and anytime you need to add anything, you're going to go to the code editor. So let's say we want to find that spot again. You'll see this is all just HTML code. If you're familiar with it, great. If not, I'm sorry. It might be a bit of a headache to find, but say we wanted to find this know who your clients are section. The beauty of it is you could just hit Command F, know who your clients are, and bam, you're going to be right there anyways. So say right under this we wanted to insert a button. All you're going to have to do is go to whatever master sheet you're working with, and there should be so right now we're on the Poof New Sales master sheet. There should be a little thing, tab somewhere that says code snippets. All you're going to have to do is go there, read what the description is, and then copy and paste the text in there. So this is for a quote, this is for an image, this is purple text, this is ordered list, unordered list, outline box, purple box, you get the point. Let's do a button. So we would just literally, you don't have to copy all this, you don't have to copy all this. All you have to do is copy these 3 lines because of the way it's displayed in this. You just literally 1, 2, 3, copy it, you bring it over to here. Now, make sure you're in your code editor. So again, you go into code editor this way, you just paste it, okay? It's a little bit difficult, but it's a button, so it's within this thing called a div. And then all you're going to do to change the link to it is you can actually go right from here once it's pasted. You could just go back to the visual editor and you can edit everything else you need to in there. So you're literally just gonna have to paste it in there. Sometimes it can lead to problems, whatever. If you get them, please notify us of them as they go on. And then from here, you can literally just delete what's in this button. And I could type in like just kidding. And I could type in like, whatever I want in here. So I could be like, free, just kidding. I guess I can't. So hold on, let's go into the code editor again. And you're gonna wanna see, you'll basically be able to find it. So what you'll see is in here, let's search for the div. You'll see the F, that's all that's in there right now. You'll just do, let's say we want to do free pizza. Cool, it's free pizza. And then whatever page you want it to go to, that's what you can edit in here. So if you go back to the visual editor now, you'll see if we scroll up to the button that says free pizza, you'll see great. It leads to the tools link. Let's just make it, for instance, let's say we were looking for ROI again, just to make it easy. We'll link it to this one. We'll hit this link. We'll make sure again that it opens in a new tab. We'll save our draft. And then if you come here, you should see a button that says free pizza. And you won't have to worry about any of the formatting of it. Again, sometimes it will look funky based on how you paste it. You can do it wrong. There's plenty of ways to do it wrong. If it does look funky, let us know. We'll come up with a solution for you. But look, you just click this free pizza tab and it takes you right to the Google Analytics content marketing, the ROI article that we made. And that's about it. So pretty much from there, again, your job's just to go through, make sure everything looks good. Again, we got another problems with these lists. We showed you how to do that. This looks like a big blocky chunk of text. You're probably going to want to enter here, make an enter here or a break here so it looks better, just so it looks like this. For a while, this text kind of goes on. So maybe in a few of these places, try to add a quote box if you can, or try to add something like that. So let's see, dominate local and do things differently. Again, this should be an H2 and it's not. So you're going to have a few edits like that. But again, we'll try to get it to you in best of shape we can with as much direction as possible. And it should make your job as easy as possible. So thank you. And that should be it for this specific training video.